Today we're embarking on an epic journey through time to explore the most legendary and popular Asian swords in history. From the iconic katana of Japan to the mystical Keris of Indonesia, these blades aren't just weapons. They're masterpieces of craftsmanship, symbols of honor, and carriers of ancient traditions that have shaped civilizations for thousands of years. Asia boasts an incredibly rich cultural heritage and martial traditions, with its swords playing absolutely vital roles throughout history. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's dive into this fascinating world of Asian blade mastery. Let's begin our journey in East Asia, a region that has produced some of the most renowned and celebrated swords in human history. Japan, the soul of the samurai. When most people think of Asian swords, the first image that comes to mind is undoubtedly the Japanese katana. But Japan's sword-making tradition goes deeper than just this iconic blade. The katana, the long sword of the legendary samurai, was typically worn edge up, tucked securely into the warrior's obi belt. What made the katana so revolutionary was its design for quick combat response. A samurai could swiftly draw and use it in either offense or defense in a single fluid motion. This wasn't just a weapon, it was an extension of the samurai's spirit. The katana eventually became exclusively worn by the samurai class. And here's something fascinating. Its elaborate mounting, called the koshirai, reflected the owner's wealth and social status. Wealthy samurai would possess multiple mountings for a single blade, switching them out for different occasions like we might change our clothes today. The blade itself was considered the soul of the sword, while the mounting was its dress. The wakizashi, often called the samurai's honor blade, was a shorter companion sword worn alongside the katana as part of the daisho, literally meaning big little, a matched pair of swords. This wasn't just a backup weapon, it served crucial ceremonial purposes, including the solemn ritual of seppuku, when a samurai needed to preserve their honor through ritual suicide. Interestingly, while only samurai could carry katana, non-samurai were permitted to carry wakizashi, provided the blade was less than 26 inches long. Before the katana dominated Japanese battlefields, there was the Tachi, the first Japanese sword with a curved blade designed primarily for mounted combat. Unlike the katana, the Tachi was slung from the belt with the cutting edge facing downward, making it perfect for cavalry charges and slashing attacks from horseback. China, the gentleman's weapon and the soldier's tool. Moving to China, we encounter two distinctly different sword philosophies. The Jian, often called the gentleman of weapons, represents the scholarly and spiritual side of Chinese culture. This straight double-edged sword came in various forms, from massive two-handed versions to elegant sidearms carried by government officials, where the specific type indicated their rank in the imperial hierarchy. What's truly fascinating about the Jian is its spiritual significance. It was viewed as a protective talisman against evil spirits and held special importance in Taoist and Buddhist traditions. Some Jian were crafted specifically as gifts to Tibetan monasteries, bridging the gap between martial prowess and spiritual enlightenment. The Da, on the other hand, was the practical warrior's choice. While we often think of it as a single type of weapon, Da actually describes an entire family of Chinese cutting weapons. The Paidao, or waist-worn saber, became particularly prominent during the Qing dynasty, where emperors and princes adorned their weapons with precious stones, while common soldiers made do with plain brass fittings. Korea, the elegant Hwando. Korea's contribution to Asian sword culture is the elegant Hwando, the traditional sword of the Joseon dynasty. Named for the distinctive rings or hwan on its scabbard, this lightweight weapon allowed Korean soldiers to carry additional equipment like bows, arrows, and shields, a practical consideration that speaks to Korean military strategy. Before we continue our journey through Southeast Asia and beyond, if you're enjoying this deep dive into Asian sword history, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Now, let's venture into the mystical world of Southeast Asian blades. Southeast Asia presents us with perhaps the most diverse and spiritually significant collection of bladed weapons in the world. Each sword tells a story, not just of warfare, but of magic, status, and cultural identity. The Keris from Indonesia stands as one of the most mystical weapons ever created. This isn't just a dagger or short sword, it's believed to possess actual spiritual power. According to Javanese tradition, the Keris was invented by Inakto Pali, the 14th century king of Jonggalo, and certain blade patterns, called pamor, are considered more spiritually potent than others. The wavy-bladed versions, with their serpentine curves, were thought to channel supernatural forces, making them as much magical artifacts as weapons. Myanmar's Da serves as that nation's national sword, but its influence extends throughout the region. What makes the Da particularly interesting is its variation among different ethnic groups. While most features slightly curved blades, the Kichin people preferred straight-bladed versions with distinctive flat or concave tips. The Philippines gave us the Bolo, a weapon that perfectly embodies the Filipino spirit of resilience and adaptability. During the Japanese occupation from 1942 to 1945, Filipino revolutionaries wielded bolos in their fight for independence, transforming agricultural tools into weapons of liberation. This dual nature, tool and weapon, reflects the practical mindset of island peoples who needed versatile implements for survival. South Asia, the forge of empires.
South Asia, the crossroads of civilizations, produced some of the most ornate and technically sophisticated swords in history. The region's diverse cultures, from the Mughal courts to the warrior kingdoms of the Deccan, created a rich tapestry of blade designs. India's Talwar represents the pinnacle of Indo-Islamic sword-making artistry. The finest examples feature koftgari work, intricate inlays of gold and silver that transform the weapon into a work of art. By the late 18th century, the Talwar had become the preferred weapon in conflicts between local rulers and British colonial forces, particularly in Mysore, under the legendary Tipu Sultan. The Khanda, one of India's oldest sword designs, carries deep religious significance. In Hindu iconography, deities are often depicted wielding khandas, symbolizing divine wisdom that cuts through ignorance and illusion. The sword's straight, heavy blade and distinctive basket hilt made it both a formidable weapon and a powerful spiritual symbol. Sri Lanka's Kastane showcases the island nation's unique cultural identity. Associated with the Sinhalese kingdom of Kandy, these swords featured hilts carved with stylized lion heads, the simha, representing the kingdom's national symbol. The hierarchy was clear: golden kastanes for the king, silver versions for high officials, creating a visual representation of the royal court's structure. Afghanistan's Pulwar tells the story of cultural convergence along the ancient Silk Road. This Pashtun weapon incorporates design elements from Persian sabers, Indian talwars, and even Eastern European influences, creating a unique hybrid that reflects Afghanistan's position as a crossroads of civilizations. Nepal's Kukri deserves special recognition as perhaps the most famous utility weapon in the world. Associated with the legendary Gurkha soldiers, the Kukri's forward-curving blade design makes it incredibly effective for both combat and daily tasks. The saying, "Io Gurkhali," meaning the Gurkhas are coming, struck fear into enemies across the British Empire, largely due to the reputation of these curved blades. West Asia, the bridge between Europe and Asia, developed a distinctive family of curved swords that influenced blade design across 3 continents. The Arabian Saif, literally meaning sword in Arabic, represents the classical Islamic blade. Unlike many curved swords, the Saif maintains moderate curvature and doesn't taper to a sharp point, making it excellent for both cutting and thrusting. These swords spread wherever Arab culture took root, from Spain to India, carried by merchants, scholars, and warriors. Persia's Shamshir, again literally sword in Persian, achieved legendary status for its extreme curvature and razor-sharp edge. The Shamshir was designed as the ultimate slashing weapon, equally effective from horseback or on foot. Its deeply curved profile became the template for many other regional sword designs. Turkey contributed 2 distinctive designs during the Ottoman Empire's Golden Age. The Kilij, with its characteristic flared tip called a yelman, increased slashing power while maintaining excellent balance. The Yataghan, a forward-curving sidearm, became synonymous with Ottoman military might and was often crafted with luxurious materials for high-ranking officials. The legacy continues. What makes these Asian swords truly remarkable isn't just their effectiveness as weapons, but their role as cultural ambassadors. Each blade carries within its steel the values, beliefs, and artistic sensibilities of its creators. The Japanese emphasis on perfection and honor, the Chinese balance of practicality and philosophy, the Southeast Asian integration of spirituality and warfare, the South Asian celebration of artistic craftsmanship, and the West Asian mastery of curved blade dynamics, all of these cultural elements are literally forged into the metal. These swords influence not just military tactics, but also literature, art, religion, and social structures. They appear in epic poems, religious texts, and royal portraits. They were given as diplomatic gifts, used in coronation ceremonies, and passed down through generations as family heirlooms. Today, many of these sword-making traditions continue, though often focused on ceremonial and artistic purposes rather than warfare. Master swordsmiths in Japan still forge katanas using techniques passed down for centuries. Indonesian Keris makers continue to create blades believed to possess spiritual power. The knowledge and skills haven't been lost, they've evolved. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into Asian sword history, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like this video if it taught you something new, and let us know in the comments which Asian sword fascinated you the most. Until next time, thanks for watching.